My home's across the Blue Ridge Mountains.
I'm T.V. Barnett. I was born on Ripshin Mountain here in 1937. I was raised up on the other side of this hill right here, which is the Roan Mountain State Park now, about a quarter of a mile from here. And the Millers here was my next door neighbors. And they was mighty good people. Yeah. I've lived in this area all my life. I helped the Millers here, lived here in this house, put up hay and hoe corn and that kind of stuff for years. I've got an old-time band now, play music. We travel all over the country playing music and everything, and old-time mountain music. And I've worked all through here digging roots and herbs, carrying them out of here to sell. And I'd come walking through here with a big sack of roots and herbs on my back. And Aunt Sally Miller lived in this house here. She'd come out and holler and say, "Have you had dinner?" And I'd say no. She'd say, "Come on in." She'd set me out a table full of stuff that's left over from breakfast, ham and eggs and all kinds of good stuff. And she'd tell one of the boys, "Go out there and get him a quart of that buttermilk out of the spring house." I'd have a good dinner, but I've eaten many of a good meal right here in this house. I've eaten here a lot of times, slid on out in this house before. And Aunt Sally Miller was the best cook in the country. And they farmed here and raised all kinds of vegetables, and just had hogs and cows and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was able to go on then. I was strong enough to carry my sack on. And I'd pull moss, and I've done a little bit of everything for a living. I cut wood and sold it. I cut locust posts and sold them. I've cut logs. Sold logs to the sawmill. I've done a little bit of every kind of work about, and I'd been a machinist, a welder, mechanic, and I'd done all kinds of work, but I made very little money because I was generous. You didn't have to have no money to get me to work because I loved everybody, and they did me, and we got along and everything, and they'd come do stuff for me when I needed it. And so, but I done okay. I didn't starve, and in fact, I managed to stay below the poverty level for 70-some years. You know, I thought I'd done pretty good. But anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about my dad. He worked on the Tweetsie Railroad when it run through Roan Mountain here. And back when he was a young boy, him and a friend of his named Clayt Harrell. My dad was named Logan Barnett. Him and Clayt was going to Beulah, Dean, North Carolina over here to get him a quart of whiskey, and they got up almost at Hughes Gap, and they met two big old rough men that coming down through there. And them men said, "Boys, said, we're going to have to whoop you so we can go on." My dad said, "We don't want no trouble," said, "We started over here to get us some whiskey." And they said, "No," said, "you'll just have to whoop us or we will you and so we can go on." So my dad said, "I heard one of them hammers on Clayt's old muzzle-loading shotgun," said, "I heard one of the hammers come back on it, click." He said Clayt shot right between them fellers' feet. And he said this, when the smoke cleared away, you could see holes in their pants legs and stuff where the gravel had hit them. And he said, they was standing there and said Clayt leveled the shotgun up a little and pulled the other hammer back on it and said, "Boys, the next one's going to be a little bit higher." And he said them fellas outrun a horse down that mountain. But back then, there's all kinds of stuff like that going on. You'd meet somebody out here that you didn't know, and sometimes they'd want to fight with you. Just sort of uncivilized back in them days. But I never run into much of that myself because I was a good runner. I could outrun anybody. I run around with the boys. Me and them run around together all the time, went everywhere together. And me and Stuart Henry made made a little moonshine back here on the creek, and we just, I think, made one run back there, and he showed me how to make it and everything, and that's all I wanted to know. And we drunk a little, not much, but Stewart, he liked it pretty good. But anyway, it was all good people, and that's about all I guess I have to say right now. So,
My